What do you got?
What's your strategy heading into it, Big Chief?
We're about to watch Matt Gilpin, a semifinal athlete and TTT coach, demo our workout from Monday in week 2 of our season prep cycle. This workout is a long and a little bit nasty one, but this will simulate an open style workout. So get prepared, make sure you warm up well, and the workout will go just like this. 10-minute AMRAP of 25-foot overhead walking lunge at 95 and 65 pounds. 8 bar facing burpees, a 25-foot overhead walking lunge, and then a 12 or 8 calorie row, male and female. At the 10-minute mark, you're going to go immediately into another 10-minute AMRAP. It'll be 8 dumbbell thrusters at 50-35, 45 double unders, 15 chest to bar pull-ups, and then 12 8-calorie row, again, male and female.
It's pretty wheelhouse, so I'm just going to try and settle into a solid pace, recover on the overhead walking lunges and the double unders.
What's your wheelhouse?
Anything with a light barbell and lots of moving.
Okay, so we'll come back afterwards and see if you got crushed?
Yeah.
Oh, wheelhouse.
That was like some overwhelming confidence. And then he realized, wait, this is going to be on film. All right, overhead walking lunge to start. This is a little playback from 2016. I love testing overhead movements that require still some stability, like the overhead lunge or overhead squat or a squat snatch. So this is one of my favorites to see. Matt is really, really talented at just fast-paced, long workouts. This obviously, you're going, it's 20 total minutes, right? But the movements change at the 10-minute mark. It doesn't matter for him. Like, he's still just really, really solid at moving consistently, and he has really good rep speed for long workouts, which I think matters a lot. Most people kind of think about, oh, it's 20 minutes, so I need to kind of just cruise or pace the entire thing going slow. But for him, being a semifinal athlete, I think they're thinking about, I need to move at a consistent pace, but also my rep speed still needs to stay pretty fast.
It's interesting. Well, never mind. He changed. I was going to say one leg he was walking through, and then the other leg he was doing a stutter step.
You know, I think ideally you're stepping through all of them for as long as possible, but with the stability overhead, it makes it a lot harder. So I'm assuming that he just kind of
How was his transition there? That looked pretty
Yeah,
smooth.
no, I mean, he's the king of transitions. If you go, I'm sure you can find some of Matt's videos on YouTube from like old open workouts or quarterfinals. That's where he makes his money, right? Like, he's just really good at going from one movement to the next.
I know you emphasize transitions a lot. Do you feel like a lot of people actually, even though they hear it a lot, go play with it?
Yeah, I don't know.
What's your gut level feeling? Is that people have kind of rose to the occasion? And
I think that there are people that do practice that, but the mistake that's made is that they transition quickly, and then they still they end up taking a break after 1 or 2 reps because they're just blown up, and that's
But don't you think they'd say, "Hey, asshole, I'm tired"?
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It is a fitness thing, and so you need to practice. Okay, can I transition quickly, and then what pace should I hold? Like, he just held 1,500 on the row. For most people, I'd say, no matter what, transition quickly from the lunge to the row. But when you get there, just settle into a more comfortable pace. And then as you get more fit, you go from 1,000 to 1,100 to 1,200. And then eventually you get to Matt's pace, which is 15, which is, that's an elite level pace, even if you're going at 12 cals each round.
Sounds like the key there was just self-awareness. Like, you have to know what you can do. Yeah. So on that, let me ask the same question again. Do you feel like the amount of people out there, by and large, have self-awareness? Have they rose to the occasion and started paying attention, or do most people still got a lot of room to make up on that?
We've done a really good job in Compete of helping people have some self-awareness. We try to write workouts, and then when we give the intent, target, and feel of those workouts, we try to kind of force people or give the guardrails for them to think about how transitions should work, how fast they should move, where they should be relative to their peers. It's hard, though, when you watch someone like this, who I'm sure at some point, because I have not seen this yet, he's going to end up blowing up. In 20 minutes, everyone's going to kind of slow down a little bit. But he's going still at the same pace that he started this 3 minutes ago. So everyone assumes that they can do that. And the other problem, too, I think, is people feel good at the beginning of the workout. Like, everyone's done this. Chris, you've done this before, too, right? Like, 21-15-9, you're doing chest to bars and thruster. You're doing like a Fran variation. The first round always feels good, but what happens in the middle round? It's like you blow up. So you need to learn how to pace it appropriately where you're going at your max sustainable pace in most cases and try to hold that.
And so if you were trying to be competitive again as he finishes round 2, would you film a lot of your sessions?
I would film 100% of my CrossFit sessions.
So let me ask the question again. Do you feel like most people are filming themselves?
I do not think most people are, but that is something, again, that we put in. We try to say, hey, film these 2 movements today, or film this CrossFit, film 1 interval so you can get an idea of what your movement patterns look like. One of the reasons I like to film myself is because I want to see movement inefficiencies as well. Like if I'm doing the overhead walking lunge, am I doing something funny? You brought this up. Like he kind of staggered 1 foot and then he stepped through. Was it intentional? Does he even know he's doing that? Was it just because he kind of got off balance? Those are all questions that you can have, but without the film, it's hard to really know what's going on.
All right, so you know I'm an asshole, Brandon. So if I approached somebody and they told me their goal was they wanted to get to semifinals or they wanted to make top 5% of quarterfinals, and then I said, hey, do you film all your workouts or most of your workouts and watch them? And they say no. Am I a dick for saying that you don't really want it?
I would say that you're not, but that's also, it may be unfair to them because they may just not be aware of what they need to do, or they don't have a coach helping them with that process.
Okay, so if I said, hey, you know you're supposed to do this and you're not, would I be a dick?
No. I think that they should listen
maybe
to you.
they'll say, hey, I have an iPhone 8. I can't see.
I got a Mike McGoldrick phone.
Oh, Mike McGoldrick, y'all still has a iPhone 8.
Man, I'm interested to see if he gets over 1,500 again. Okay, so he's settled into, let's say, 14. That's still an elite level pace. You look at the open workouts and, he's getting close. He's getting close.
You think that's because I'm filming it and he knows?
Yeah, exactly. I always do that too. It's just like unintentional. Yeah, someone's going to watch this. I need to go a little bit faster. An elite level pace on most open workouts that are 20 minutes, or let's say 15 to 20 minutes. Males are around that 1,400 mark. Some of the bigger males will be over 1,500. They'll be able to average that, which is just crazy fast. And then females are anywhere from 1,000 to 1,100 as far as the elite level athletes go. You'll see some females that are elite that are in the 950 to 1,000 range. But I think now in the sport, it's just requiring, especially on the female side, more powerful athletes. And that may change this year because now everyone's doing quarterfinals together, including masters. But in the past 3 years, we've seen a lot of heavy workouts and a lot of high-powered workouts, which means the female athletes need to be able to go at a faster pace.
So he's just starting the bar-facing burpees of his 4th round. Do you think he's going to get 5, 6, 10?
He's certainly going to get more than 5 since he's at the 6-minute mark. I'm not going to take any guesses. Matt told me after this workout that he did blow up. So I guess I lied when I said I don't know if he blows up or not.
Come on, dude.
His burpee cadence is very similar to where he started. Matt is a burpee king. I think that is the workouts when there are 3 or 4 movements that are just kind of like all the same rep scheme. It's hard to find a true separator. Then it becomes a personal separator. And what I mean by that is like, what's the one movement that you can really take advantage of, or what's the one movement that really could crush you? Here, he's good at all of these things, but one movement that he is really good at is the burpees. So just even though it's only 8 every single round, keeping those at a fast cadence, averaging anywhere from 2.2 to 2.5 seconds per rep is going to be huge on the leaderboard because most people, even with 8 burpees, are averaging about 3 seconds per rep.
So when he gives back to his burpees, we'll see that he's been doing the face the same direction for the burpees, so he
Correct.
never turns his body, so he never kind of gets dizzy, potentially. Is that what most of the high-level people do, or is it a mixture? Or
yeah, I would say almost everyone now is facing the same way, and that's so that if they're doing the step up, they're changing the leg that they step up with, which is just a really good strategy for long-term health and development. If you're doing, let's say, 150 burpees a week or 200 burpees a week leading up to the open, and you're only stepping up on the same leg, it's a lot of overuse on one leg. And people can handle it, right? Like the sport requires a ton of volume. It just makes more sense long-term to make sure that you're staying as symmetrical as possible. And the other thing,
maybe there's situations where if you're trying to go as fast as
sprint,
then you just don't worry about that.
Yeah,
but if it's a long workout, maybe you try to game it by using both legs the same.
Totally. And Chris, to your point, I think that is something that good coaches talk to their athletes about. In other words, we're going to alternate legs in the beginning of a workout, but with 2 minutes left and you have to sprint, you're going to go on your fast leg, and you know what your fast leg is because you're going to practice that, right? So if I sprint, I step up to my left leg.
Yeah.
If I'm doing his pace right now, I alternate legs every single time.
So notice that he always looks towards the wall here. That's what we're talking about.
So that was right leg. Now it's left leg. He's going to go back to right leg here. And you see he has just like his right leg there, that was a bigger step. But usually he kind of has just a small stagger like that. Nothing wrong with that. Perfectly fine. His cadence is fast. He's under 3 seconds per rep, which again is the gold standard. Sprint speed is 2 seconds per rep for male athletes. And really it's become the same thing for female athletes. a target pace for 20-minute AMRAPs, 2.5 to under 3 seconds per rep if there's only 8 to 12 in each round. If you're doing 50 or 100 burpees for time, like let's say it's just a super dense workout, that pace is going to slow a little bit. But I bring those numbers up again that you should know those. Like if you're in the sport, you should either have a coach, which is what we do in Compete. Like we give you guys these numbers so you know exactly where your paces should be if you want to be elite, semifinal, if you want to be top 25%, top 10%. Or you should just know them yourself. Like if you don't have a coach, you don't want to be in Compete, then you better figure those things out or it's going to be really hard to be an elite level athlete. Another really fast transition to the row. That's something that Matt has, Matt's coach is Adam Rogers, who's very detail oriented with this kind of stuff too. And that's what he's teaching all his best athletes, any athlete that he has. But Matt knows that it's easy to get on and off the rower quickly, right? And you can make up or lose a lot of time getting on and off the rower. People always are fumbling with the foot straps or messing with the handles, or they start really slow. He's taking 3 strokes to get to his working pace. He's holding that through the 12 calories. He's getting off the rower quickly. This is his slowest transition already, but he's still going really fast compared to most people.
And unless I miscounted, I think he's starting his 6th round here.
So he's got 20 seconds left. The clock is behind him, or I guess in front of him now. So you could see when he got off the rower, he peeked at it real quick just to know where he's at. And this workout is... Obviously, he still has 10 minutes left.
Does he want it? Does he want it? No.
He said, I'm going to go over to the dumbbell.
All right, so you go straight into it, right?
Yeah, he's going to go straight into this next one. That's intentional. When we originally, this is some behind the scenes, the way that we think about all these workouts in our open prep cycle is we're playing with combinations that have been tested in the sport regularly, or things that we think will come out, and then we also then play with time domains. So this one's 20 minutes. Well, that's a certain percentage of tests in the sport, whereas 8 to 14 minutes is the most commonly tested one. And when we did this, we originally had a rest break there, but I said, no, I want a 20-minute AMRAP this week, and so that's why we decided to put those together.
8. That was 8.
Yeah. Matt's positions look really good with the dumbbells. It's 50 and 35 pounds. Everyone's used to that weight dumbbell. But as you all know, if you're listening to this video, watching this video, that gets really hard, especially after all the lunges. Double under positions look pretty good. He's also really good at double unders.
Yeah, if you didn't watch our video from last week, Trav was doing all sorts of dubs, wasn't he?
Yeah, he is. And we'll have double unders once a week at least in the program all the way through the open time, just because that is one of the most commonly tested movements. And it has been simplified down. Like I talked about this in another video with Travis. Like we're so focused on crossover singles or crossover doubles or the weighted variations. And that's all great. Like get good at those. We have skill programs for those. We have extra credit programs for those. We have them in workouts. But you still need to be good at the simple things. And I think you're going to see a lot of simple things in the open and quarterfinals this year.
6, 7, 8.
Yeah, Matt's just really good at gymnastics movements. All right, finishes the chest bars. For the elite athletes, the number's higher. He's doing the elite workout. If you're in one of the other divisions, the chest to bars will be less, just so you know if you're watching this video.
So what's he trying to hit?
He's doing 15 chest to bars each round, 15. But there'll be other variations of this that,
what is
anywhere
RX
from
doing?
8 to 12. Yeah. And by the way, like that's intentional based on the reps that we've used, or basically we pull all the data from where do you need to be top 10%, 20%, 5%, whatever. And so the different divisions are doing obviously different numbers. We have that question all the time, like, hey, the elite workout looks like this, and the RX. We do that on purpose. We want to be able to give different levels what they need for the correct dose for that day. So more rowing. Matt does, again, even with going from chest to bars now instead of walking lunges, he did a great job getting to the row. I actually think that, Chris, I want your opinion on this. Mm-hmm. It's harder for me to get to the rower doing chest to bars because my lats blow up a little bit than getting to the rower after doing walking lunges.
Agreed.
What's your experience? I love the smile.
For me, I think it both suck. So
yeah, just doing anything on the row. 13 minutes into the workout, you can see that his transitions have slowed down a little bit. I think that would be the case for anybody doing a workout like this. But his positions still look really good with the dumbbells. His speed still looks really good with the thrusters. In a situation like this, where there is 20 minutes on the clock and it does get a little monotonous, you're pretty tired, as a coach, I'm cueing athletes. You see Adam actually sitting over there. I'm sure he's probably yelling at him at this point or telling him just like little cues. Still pick movements that you want to push on. And these are all relatively low rep schemes other than the chest bars. We made these pretty dense for the elite path. So like, for example, the double unders, he can always do 45 double unders. It may be like, hey, Matt, go straight from the thrusters into the double unders and make that your fast transition, and then keep the cadence fast in the double unders. It doesn't seem like it's going to make up a bunch of time, but if I can make up 3 to 5 seconds per round, I end up doing 5 rounds. That's 25 seconds to sprint finish on a movement that would push you up the leaderboard. And going from open to quarterfinals probably doesn't matter. Most people that are higher level in the program are going to get in the top 25%. But when we talk about going from quarterfinals to semifinals for someone like Matt, that's going to matter a ton. And we saw that on the leaderboard last year, the year before. 1 rep or 2 reps or 5 seconds even on the rope climb workout last year meant the difference of making semifinals and not making it.
14, 15. So he did a set of 8, broke, then finished them out.
Yeah.
He's going to the rower to finish round 2 here.
And I think that's a really good strategy too. So if you are doing the elite version of this workout, you're doing 15 chest bars, that's a dense set. And there are plenty of people that could do 15 unbroken. Matt could have done 15 unbroken, but what does that do? What is the compounding effect from the chest bar to the row or for any of the other movements that he's doing? And I think for him, he says, I can do a 3-second break and jump back up and do another set of 7, or his first set, I think he did 12 and 3, and then get on the row and still hold a decent pace. And you can see his pace has fallen off from the first, but he's still over that 1,300, which I think, well, now he dropped below 13, but the goal would be over 1,300 in a 20-minute AMRAP for a semifinal or above athlete.
With your personal experience, what does this combination of movements do to you, Brandon?
When it's just when it's all lower rep schemes but a bunch of different movements, it becomes just like overall global fatigue for me, because there aren't enough thrusters here to just like make my legs completely blow up, or there aren't enough chest to bars to make it where it's such a bottleneck that I have to stand there and stare at the bar. It's just a really fast turnover where my heart rate, my breathing is out of control, and it's really hard to stay disciplined. And that's why we're doing workouts like this, because that is kind of the chaos that happens in the open or in quarterfinals. Whereas sometimes, some of the other sessions, even in this training week, it was more focused on a bottleneck. So in other words, it's 10 rope climbs at the end of a workout. You're not breathing as hard in 10 rope climbs, but you have this local fatigue that you have to deal with because of the rope climbs.
You said harder to stay disciplined, so...
Yeah, so this is exactly what he just did. I mean, he's 16 minutes in, he's flying in this workout, but you can see how long his transitions are now. So as Matt gets prepared for quarterfinals, this is something that he and Adam would talk about of, I know you're blowing up, but you have to pick, like I said a minute ago, you have to pick something to move quickly to make up time. Like if you're competing against your peers, everyone else is blown up too, but it's the person that can go straight from the thrusters to the double unders. And then maybe it's a slower walk to the chest to bars and then a fast walk to the row. I like to have 2, if there's 4 movements or 6 movements, 2 or 3 of those movements that are fast transitions and 2 or 3 that are a little bit slower.
All right, so transparency, because we're filming these commentaries before we film the intros that go on these, so maybe we've already talked about it, but do you have to take into account that this is a training session versus a compete? Like, what's the intention here? Is the intention to go out there and try to compete and practice, or tell me? Yeah,
the workouts that we picked for these demos especially are the ones that we want our athletes to go at a hot effort, to be really aggressive, and to treat as if they were competing at an open workout or in a quarterfinal workout. And so the point would be that you're maximizing your score.
You're trying to do game day.
Correct.
In a training session.
And by the way, and those that are in compete know this, then the day after this training session is all skill-based stuff. We are not a program for people that just want to do stupid hard Metcons every day. That's not how you get better. But you need a dose of it a couple times a week. So we do
especially this time of year.
Exactly. And I love writing hard Metcons. I enjoy putting together combinations that I know are going to be tested. We've done a great job of that over the last couple of years, where we have our athletes prepared for the open and quarterfinals, and that's shown with how many people have qualified. But you can't do it every single day of the week. So when you do these, they need to be aggressive. You need to be really fast. But Matt's filming this well before this comes out. So it's not like he's peaked for the open or quarterfinals.
Oh, yeah, we filmed this a while ago. And but back to our point earlier, for sessions like this, it's probably even better to film, make sure, if I'm not film everything guy, film these ones for sure.
Yeah, the workouts that we're posting, you need to be filming these. You need to go ahead and come up with a pacing plan ahead of time and try to optimize your score. And it may not be what Matt gets, but you need to hit your ceiling, wherever that is. And then at the end of the workout, when you're doing your review, you're figuring out how you can maybe clean up some inefficiencies that you have in transitions or maybe movement inefficiencies. But then also, if you look at it, you say, well, I really did optimize it to my ceiling, my performance ceiling. Well, then the next question is, well, how do you raise your performance ceiling? For some people, maybe it's like the chest to bars just got really hard. So we have skill programs for chest to bars, or we have extra credit work for some of the movements in here, like double unders and the walking lunge variations. We're doing different lunge variations this cycle. Work on those. Take those programs or those progressions and start working on it so you can raise your ceiling at the same time that you're getting more efficient within the performance that you have.
And that's a no rep, right? He throws those dumbbells.
we
kick him out of the gym.
Get out of here. Yeah, you could tell he's getting very, very tired.
A minute left. He's on his 4th round, I believe, here.
Double unders still look good. I mean, way better than most people when they get this tired. So well done by Matt. Let's see how his transition is, knowing he just looked at the clock again. Oh, was that a trip?
Oh, come on, Matt. I thought he was going to go full Super Saiyan.
He did just look at the clock when he picked up his rope, so he knows where he's at. Now, the question is can he transition quickly to the chest to bars? And this is another kind of last-minute tip here, right? At the end of workouts, you need to be willing this time of year to just have an aggressive kick. Every workout, in most workouts, you shouldn't be falling on the ground at the end. But in these workouts, the ones that we have and compete that we'll tag, we'll say this is the one that you go hard on, you should be really messing yourself up and pushing at the end. So this should be like for him, let's say, can he do 15 unbroken or go all the way to the end of the time cap?
Yeah. And whether you fall, it should just be like you gave it your all.
Exactly. And he is. I mean, you could tell he's completely redlined. Well done, my friend.
All right. Let's see what he has to say.
That was bad. I blew up on the first round. I went for the first lot of 10. I thought I could hold that row pace, but I just got hot. I couldn't breathe hot. Yeah. I felt okay. Movement-wise, thrusters felt easy. Chest to bar felt easy. I struggled to breathe on the double unders a little bit, but yeah, just felt like air temperature, my head feels hot right now.
You know what you know now, what would you do different?
Turn on the fan, but outside of that, I think I'd probably pace the first round a little bit differently. I didn't really think about it going in, but depending on how this is scored, there's more reps in the second half with the double unders, and the chest to bar, so potentially you can actually get more reps in the second half, so I might have paced the first 10 minutes a bit better and then tried to push this harder if it's scored that way. Otherwise, that was okay. I just wish I'd finished the row.
Good job, dude.
Thank you.